Hey there, food fans. Welcome back to the Food for Thoughtcast with me, your host, Melissa Reagan. Today, I am joined by Morgan Smith, the CEO of Kalm with Kava. How are you?
I'm doing super, super well. I'm super stoked to be here. Super excited to talk about food that might be a little bit older in origin than some people might normally eat.
Yes, that's what I want. All the things older than me.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm excited to talk
let's
about it.
let's go. Well, thank you for coming on the show today. I really, really appreciate it. We always start every episode. We like to ask, what was the most amazing thing you ate this week? I can go first, or you can go. It doesn't matter.
Well, I live in, I've got one in the can and ready to go here.
Do it. Let's go.
I'm in Arizona, and Arizona is it's home to the best Mexican food in the U.S. And I will fight anyone who says otherwise. If they say, "Oh, New Mexico or Texas or California, get out of here." Okay, Sonora has a place in the Mexican cuisine, and it's the best. Sonora is known for grilled meats and really delicious, really thin flour tortillas.
Yum.
And most people, when they go, "Oh, well, flour tortillas, that's not like a Mexican thing." No, that is a Mexican thing. That's a Sonoran thing. And I actually recently had some of the best al pastor tacos I've had in a while. So if you're not familiar with al pastor, it's marinated pork with a annatto, so it's got kind of like a reddish sort of look to it, and some chilies and onions, and they put onto a spit, like a gyro spit, with a pineapple on the top, and it rotates, and it's just glistening in its own juices, and the pineapple juices flow down. It is like the best taco known to mankind, and
it's probably my favorite type of street taco.
Yeah,
truly. So I'm from Dallas. I don't think it's fighting words. I will say we have the best Tex-Mex, and it's really something you can't find outside of Texas. But yeah, I'm not going to.
True.
Arizona. I've only had the pleasure of being to Arizona one time. I have a friend that used to live in Ahwatukee, like right outside Phoenix, and the food there's incredible. The weather is incredible. The scenery. So you really can't beat it. You're making me want al pastor right now. Like, I'm a pineapple fiend. So it's
all right. Well, come on over. I got a couple spots for you that are pretty insane. Yeah.
I can't wait.
All right. I'm glad we don't have to fight about this, by the way. That's very nice. We don't have to fight about
there's
it.
Enough
because I will fight about it.
Yeah, there's enough lanes for Mexican food. It's okay. Everybody, there's enough lanes for everybody to be in. I had recently moved out to North Carolina. I've been here for 2 years and have not had good Mexican food. That might be fighting words. I don't know. Maybe their subscribers are unsubscribing right now. I have no idea, but I haven't been shy about the fact that I'm like, guys, there's no corner of Mexican food on here. Like, you got to figure this out. So like,
too bad. I guess you have to make your own.
We really got to figure this out. Yes. So last week I did just that. I did my take on carne asada with a mixture of beef, pork, and tempeh, because I'm about to move and I'm cleaning the freezer out. So it was a little
nice
freezer clean out. Carne asada in the way of seasoning, not like not the preparation, right? Like I didn't have like any whole muscle meat, but I did some taco bowls. That was the most amazing thing last week. Let's see, this week so far. Oh, I can't even. It's no contest. I did like an orange ginger pork skewer. So really, really good. Really good. So poblano peppers. Incredible. The meals are getting interesting because I'm really fighting to not buy more groceries before I move. I just want to use it all down. So little pork loin cubed up. Yeah, So
I think that's great though, because I feel like some of my best meals that I've ever made have been the ones where I've had to be creative, right? And that's what you're doing. It's great. It's awesome.
It's the ingenuity, right? It's the mother of invention. So necessity rather. But yeah, it's been an interesting time. Are these meals that I would necessarily repeat? Nope. It's a cultural moment in time. It'll probably never repeat itself. But yeah. Well, Morgan, I am excited. I really want to hear. First of all, tell me what Kava is. I'm uninitiated and uneducated. Like, what's happening? Yeah.
Okay. Please. So I'm really grateful that this is a food podcast, because Kava is a food that has been around for about 3,000 years. And it's been grown throughout Melanesia, Polynesia and Micronesia in the South Pacific. So when you think about countries, we're thinking about like Fiji or Vanuatu, Hawaii. It was a canoe crop. So, when they were like, all right, I gotta hop in my canoe and go find a new place to go. They had to put all their belongings into a canoe and hopefully find a place to land. And one of the things that they brought with them, of course, was taro or coconuts or all sorts of sugar cane, and kava was one of them. And kava it's a plant that you take the roots of the plant and you grind it up and you mix it with water or coconut water. Sometimes people flavor it with sugar cane or turmeric or something like that, and you make a drink out of it. And so it's a way for people to connect with one another. So throughout time in the islands, they would use it almost like a peace pipe, like in North Americas, you'd use a peace pipe to kind of hash out your problems with one another and kind of create peace. Kava is one of those things where if you want to go do a business deal with someone, if you want to,
it's like
marry the girl next door,
beverage hatchet.
That's exactly right.
Interesting.
That's exactly right.
So it's giving like mate vibes, I guess.
But very similar. There's Kava, a lot of parallels, or like matcha, very similar.
Yeah, like Kava, but Kava is calming, right? So we're not. It's not like caffeine, not like in like a different instance, right?
Okay, yeah, I call it like the anti-coffee.
The anti-coffee, man, what a concept! I know some people who could use some anti-coffee.
Yeah, which actually I always tell people, now I don't know if anyone's actually taken me up on this, but I always tell people that they should, if you own a coffee shop, the moment you open your doors, it's going to cost you a certain amount of cash just to open the doors, right? You got people there, you got food that's going to go bad, you have all sorts of prep that you got done for that day in order to be ready for it. If you just keep your doors open a little while longer and serve kava in the afternoons and evenings, it doesn't cost you really much extra, and it's a great thing for people to try out. So in the afternoons, when you want to go, if you want to do go have a business meeting, a lot of people go to a coffee shop. Well, you don't only have to go have coffee in a coffee shop. Kava is a great option.
Well, I think that once you start talking about the time of day where you're like, it's dinner time, it's after 5 o'clock. I mean, probably rightfully so, people's minds go to like a cocktail, a glass of wine, something with alcohol. Yeah. It's very cultural. I think the expectation is there. How did you get involved with Kava? Like, what is your journey into the food industry? Tell me the story.
Yeah, so I was in the tech industry. I was working in the financial side of it, and I was creating software for the big banks. And when those pieces of software had issues, I was the one that was on the hook for a lot of this stuff. And it was just a very stressful time. I had just had a second child with my beautiful wife. And, I was just struggling with life. Right. And like, I feel like as a young father, and you're just going through stuff, right? And everyone goes through stuff. And so it's just a period of my life where I just had a lot going on. And so I went to my doctor and I asked for some help, and they prescribed me a benzodiazepine, and they also prescribed me an SSRI. And they said, take the benzodiazepine and it was a Klonopin, whenever you feel like you're having a panic attack, until the SSRI can kind of kick in after a couple of weeks. So a couple of days later, I was at my office and I felt like an elephant was sitting on my chest. And so I took a Klonopin, and I don't remember what I did the rest of the day. I just blacked out, and I was driving coworkers to lunch, and I was making decisions, and
doesn't sound good.
No, it's not good. So when I came to later that night, I thought, what in the world just happened? And I thought, what would have happened if I had to take my kid to the hospital? I was on this stuff. What if I had to make like a life or death decision? And it didn't sit well with me. And now obviously my case is extreme, right? And like, I believe in modern medicine. Like, my wife is a nurse, my brother's a surgeon.
I was just about to disclaim for everybody, like, hey, in case you're not aware or you've never heard, like, this is a type of tranquilizer and an antidepressant, and this isn't a medical podcast, and your results may vary. Go. Like,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. And people need these
Right.
medicines, right?
Sure,
So
sure,
like
sure.
it's not to say that like no one should be taking this stuff. It's just that, and I'm not qualified at all to
Well,
say what people should or should not take.
it's
I'm just saying
also
for me, didn't
super
work.
important. It's also super important in this moment to be like, it's also not a one size fits all for everybody, right? Like it's
Yes.
not a blanket.
Yes.
So you came to kind of out of the Klonopin fog and you were like, nope.
Yeah, that's
Okay,
exactly what happened.
fair.
And I just thought I need to find something that's going to help me, that's not going to like ruin me. You know, my family has a whole list of addiction issues, you know,
Sure.
going back generations. And yeah, everyone has their drunk uncle that at Christmas that they don't want to like, you know, mimic, you know, there's all sorts of problems, right? So
Right.
I tried like 10 or 15 different things. Most of them were, you know, sort of natural, holistic options. You know, I tried ashwagandha and
Yeah.
cunupurians and B12 or not B12, B6, I think. And then, you
Mm-hmm.
know, all sorts of things. And Kava was the one thing that I took that I actually felt in my brain and in my body and in my mind, and that didn't turn me into a zombie, because I
Mm.
was really concerned about like, well, if I take Klonopin too much, I'm going to get addicted to it. I'm going to have withdrawals
Sure.
from it. I'm going to have all sorts of problems. And Kava doesn't create withdrawals. So
Yeah.
there's no dependence on it, no true physical dependence on it. Right. And so that's what really led me to it and drew me into it. And that's why I've been consuming it ever since. So that was about 12, 13 years ago at this point.
Mm. Well, that's amazing. And it's helped
Yeah.
with everything that you've needed it to help with, right?
Well, I mean, kinda, right? Like,
mean,
I think that
you
it's
just
important for.
go ahead. I'm
Sorry.
so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No worries. I think that it's really important for people to recognize that, like, when you're going through issues in your life, that
Sure.
like no substance is going to fix you.
Of
And
course.
I'm registered with the FDA, so I cannot make claims about like what Kava specifically will help with medically, right? And
Sure.
so I can tell you that it's going to help you unwind at the end of the night. I can tell you that
Yeah.
it's a good way to connect with people. It's a good way to, you know, just kind of take the edge off the day. Personally, it's been fantastic.
Yeah.
I just, you know, but your mileage may vary, right?
I really love that. I mean, I mean, maybe more than they would be willing to admit. I bet that there's a large swath of society that's like, I really want something to help with anxiety, but I don't want to be numb to my life experiences. And I think that's like a fair statement to make. And it's interesting because you find it all over the place. There's melatonin gummies, there's adaptogen sodas, there's, you know, there's hop water, there's all sort of there's like a really fine line between like what nature has and, if you'll allow me, like the wellness grift. And so it's kind of like determining A, what's going to work for me, and B, like what's really, why do I need this? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Do I need therapy in this space and not this thing? Right? Like, I think there's a lot of different approaches to it, but like, I really commend you for being like, I'm going to tell you what it does. I'm not making any like false health claims here. And really just for being like, hey, this is a really amazing food item, right? Like,
I can one up you on that.
Yeah.
Because I think that, you know, like I have anxiety every day.
Sure.
I go through bouts of depression. Kava has not fixed my anxiety. It has not fixed my depression. And I will say it's kind of like the cherry on the top at the end of the day, because during the day, what you're talking about with therapy, all of the things that really help me and make me improve is I go on walks with my wife. We go take the dogs out, right? I go hang out with my son. I play video games with him.
Yeah.
Or I bother my 14-year-old daughter. You know, I'm like, hey, what's going on today? And she's like, get out of my room, you know? But those are the kind of days where I'm like, there are things that I do to help, you know, kind of just deal with the stress. And so like Kava is not going to fix you, right? It's all the other things that you do. And then Kava can help kind of like, you know, smooth things over a little bit. Right.
Yeah.
I worry a lot that people will try something or will think that Kava is going to fix them. And when it doesn't, what do they do next? And I don't like that idea.
Yeah. And I respect you being like, so, you know, forthcoming about it, right? Like, hey, this is not a medicinal claim. This is not, because I think that there's a lot of like people out there who are looking for the next big, you know, They want every single thing they pick up to be like kratom or like whatever, right? Like insert name of popular fad wellness thing here, right? But I think
Yeah.
with Kava, you're just going, hey, this really has a social aspect to it, and people have been eating this for a long time, right? Or
Mm-hmm.
drinking it rather, right? So what does it taste like?
Yeah. Well, it doesn't taste good.
Sign me up. Where do I buy it?
Yeah. So, I mean, maybe I shouldn't say it like that, like, hey, buy Kava, but it doesn't taste good.
It needs help. I get it. It needs flavor. You get the flavor.
Maybe if you were in a kitchen with some Kava, you could come up with something really delicious. Personally, I haven't really figured out how to do that.
Have you tried bacon? Because it usually fixes everything.
They do say that about things, but I've never had a bacon drink that has been successful. I've never had a Bloody Mary because I don't drink.
So bacon flavored Kava it is. We'll do a collab. It'll be great.
Hey, I'm ready for you to try that out, and I will be the first in line to try it.
Hey, people are washing their bourbon and bacon fat and charging at $28 for a cocktail. Like, what's holding us back? I think there's something here.
Yeah, well, I mean that's a pretty common thing, right? Washing your liquor with different fats,
like infusing and marinating, macerating, all the things. Yeah. Smoke cocktails, all the things.
Right. Yeah. Well, I challenge you to make Kava taste good. It is
I'm gonna do
it. In Latin, the name of the plant is Piper methysticum, and Piper is it's the pepper family.
Pepper.
So
like Piper.
Oh, she's gone. It's just me all by my lonesome. Something happened to our host, but it still says recording. So I'm just going to hang out and I hope she comes back. And I hope this doesn't get edited out because it's kind of funny. And I really...
Hey, I'm so sorry. It looks like the Wi-Fi went out and we both disappeared from the broadcast. So...
Oh, well, it kept saying recording on my screen and I kept talking because it was funny.
So sorry. So we were talking about... Go over the name again. It looks like we didn't lose anything, which is really incredible. But...
It's fantastic.
Yeah, it pulled us both out and then put us back in. I love modern technology. Is just beautiful. So
yeah, no worries. Yeah, the Latin name of Kava is Piper methysticum, and Piper means pepper, so it's a part of the pepper family. And it's very like I would say when you grind Kava fresh, it smells almost like Christmas, but when you brew it into kind of like a tea, it tastes more like a medicinal mud water. I don't know how else to say it. No, it's just that's just what it is.
I get it. So does it lend itself then to like, is hot cocoa kind of the direction where it kind of lends itself, or like what is your approach? Like if somebody's never had it, what do you tell them to do with it?
Well, I always tell people to drink it straight. Just neat. You just want it just Kava and water, and then chase it with something tasty. But if you have to flavor it for whatever reason, I would always go for an earthy spice like a cinnamon, nutmeg, clove, that sort of thing. Just because the peppery kind of stuff lends itself to it. It also has an interesting thing, kind of like a Szechuan peppercorn where it numbs your mouth.
Ooh,
Kava also numbs your mouth. So you can kind of play with that. Yeah, I know that some people have also used like cayenne or like kind of some spicy peppery kind of things, because it does two things. It kind of adds the kind of spicy undertone earthiness thing going on with pepper, but it also increases the absorption and you actually feel the effects of Kava faster and better.
That's amazing.
Yeah,
that's really amazing. I can't wait to try it. I'm so excited. I'm super intrigued by this. As a chef, I always like to find things that, I don't know about. I would consider myself a lifelong learner, but if you tell me like, we need to make this taste good, I'm like, that's what I do. That's what we do. So like, I'm in. If you tell me something tastes like mud, then there's, 10 different alarms are going off my brain. I'm like, does that mean beets? Does that mean dirt? Does that mean earth? Like, what does that mean? You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah, actually beets. I never really thought about that as a way, as kind of like a similar sort of pairing. I will say one thing that is a little bit different. So I should have placed a little caveat. So traditionally, Kava first started in Vanuatu. It's this archipelago a couple hundred miles west of Fiji.
Okay.
And in Vanuatu, they take the plant, they harvest it, they clean it, and then they grind it and they drink it fresh. So they never dry the plant. Most other places, like in Fiji, Tonga, or Samoa, they will take it, they'll harvest it, they'll clean it, and they'll dry it. And then from that, they make their like prepared beverage. In Hawaii, they also drink it fresh. And I also own a farm on the Big Island of Hawaii where we grow kava, or ava as Hawaiians call it. And when you make it fresh, it tastes more like a cucumber water that's mixed with mud. So it does taste better.
That's crazy. Wow.
Yeah.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. I'm
well, I'm going to send you some.
Thank you so much. That's so kind. And I'm happy to pay for it too. I'd love to support.
No.
So tell me about,
I want to see what you can do with it.
Tell me about how did you start this enterprise, like the farming? Like, how did you get in? How'd you get there?
Yeah, great question. So I actually didn't start Kalm with Kava, and in a way, I didn't start the farm. So I had a good buddy. Actually, his face is kind of out of picture here, but up there,
I see.
That's Mike Munsell, and he was one of my best friends. And when I first got into Kava 12, 13 years ago, there was very few people that were actually selling Kava or importing it. And it was something where you really had to like know someone, or you really had to look on the internet to find something that, that made sense from like a shipping standpoint. Some people be like, "Hey, I'm going to send you Kava straight from Fiji," and it's just a problem. Anyways, Mike was one of the first guys who really imported all this Kava from the South Pacific and started selling it in the US. Now there's others, but he was definitely one of the first. He was kind of in my eyes, kind of a godfather of the American Kava movement. And he started Kalm with Kava. He and his wife, Tiffany, went to Fiji in 2009 on their honeymoon, and he fell in love with Kava, and his wife, Tiffany, did not. But they ran the business together, and they were good friends with us, and my wife is great friends with Tiffany, and so they would come down all the time, and Mike and I would drink Kava and hang out at home with the kids while the ladies went out and had ladies' night, and just had a great relationship with them. And in 2020, Mike unfortunately passed away, and it was. Yeah, I appreciate that. He was, he was my guru, right? Like everything I know about Kava, I attribute to Mike. Not everything, but most everything. He started a little farm, a little patch of Ava on the Big Island. He had by the time I got to the plants, there was about 100 plants. He had originally planted about 200. A lot of them, after he passed away, they became diseased, and there was some theft, and so I had 100 plants. And one thing that I'd left out about Kava, we call it a 3,000-year-old food, and it's really, without people, Kava doesn't exist. So Kava doesn't have any seeds, so you can't just go to the store and buy seeds. You actually have to take a piece of the plant, a cutting of the plant from the stem. It's kind of like a finger. You take a knuckle of the stem.
So we're the pollinators.
Wow. We are the pollinators.
Okay.
Exactly. Wow. Which means 3,000 years of humans taking care of this plant. And so Mike is now one of those, people from 3,000 years ago that, were helping us bring Kava, to our current generations. And so I took his 100 plants, and now from his 100 plants, we have about 15,000 plants in Hawaii. So that's the short story is my good buddy Mike and what he and his wife Tiffany did in the night. When he passed away, I took it on and started continuing his, journey forward, his vision.
Well, like, what a cool story for you to become a part of, and then his legacy lives on in you. But that's so cool. Amazing.
Yeah. Well, a lot of responsibility, but yeah.
Yeah. Well, we always, people like to throw around like a big shoes to fill. Well, you get older and your feet get bigger, then you figure things out. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
however the story continues is like really, really valuable and it's important. You're honoring his legacy. So that is just really, really cool. So 15,000 plants is crazy. That's crazy
Yeah,
work.
I'm stoked about it.
Yeah.
What's really cool is that they're going to be fresh. They're going to be sold as fresh Ava, right? Rather than the dried stuff. And it tastes a lot better. It's just a better experience. And so it's something that's really fantastic. And also, because it is a food, right? Like it can be sold in restaurants. It can be prepared in restaurants or coffee shops or tea shops or whatever it is. It's not like a supplement, like all sorts of other things. So yeah, I'm excited about it.
And so the kava that grows there, is that primarily exported, or you have chefs doing things with it on the island, or is it just you beverage making, like, or how does it look on the other side of the business?
Well, so it takes minimum 3 years to grow. So
oh my god, it's like avocado, asparagus, or pomegranate. Like it's okay, cool, got it. It's a commitment. Understood.
It is a commitment. So we're actually just now, literally within the last month, we're just now starting to harvest our first crops, which is pretty wild to think about looking back on it. But so we haven't done a lot. We are selling them to like kava bars and to some health food shops, and eventually we'll do it to consumers as well, and a lot of like the hotels around the islands to kind of show people like the original way of drinking this stuff. And like it's really the foundation of Polynesian culture, and so it's a great educational opportunity for people to try something that really is truly from the past that we still have today. So we are going to be selling it as fresh frozen Ava, but we're also working on pasteurized bottled Ava as well.
Okay, got it. Oh, that's awesome. This is it carries so much more like cultural weight than you being like, we brought you Dole Whip. Like, I mean,
very different.
Right. Like there's all sort of experiences you can have when you're visiting a place, but like, man, like what a story. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, pineapples weren't even a canoe plant. So, they're not,
right.
So when people go to the Dole plantation, they're expecting like, oh, this is what Hawaiians have been doing for a long time. No, they haven't. A couple hundred years. That's about it.
Nope.
Yeah. This is different. When you look at like if you go to Fiji, they will literally have like pictures of, actually I've got an example of one right here, of like a kava bowl. It looks like this, and
cool.
they'll have, it's called a tanoa, and it's they've got all sorts of like really cool like designs and stuff on the top, and what's interesting about it though is that it's all around their society. So it's on billboards, it's on government buildings, people are drinking kava all the time there. It's a part of everyday life and society. It's a part of like how they when you get together and drink kava, there's a hierarchy of like who in that circle is in what spot to kind of show their place in society and in their communities.
It's very, very much like a peace pipe. There's a hierarchy, there's an organization, that's insane. I struggle to think of anything to connect this to in American culture. Like even coffee doesn't have that type of ritual built around. And coffee is not, if you think about it, is really like, it's an individual expression. There's no, time honored like tradition of you getting together, passing this thing back and forth. You know what I mean? Like it's just it's so foreign. That might be the wrong word, but it's just so different.
It is different. And I wonder, like, I don't know much about coffee, but I have to imagine when it was in Ethiopia, a couple thousand years ago, that there was something around it that
I bet
has been since lost. I don't know. But you're right. Not a whole lot compares to kava.
Well, I think there's certainly parts of the coffee tradition that have been lost, and whether it's through import export or just colonization, or like however you want to approach it. Because if you think about how important and ceremonial something like tea is in Japan or China, right? Like I think definitely like what we see now in modern time is just like coffee's a convenience, it's a pick-me-up, it's a source of caffeine, it's a it basically became like the McDonald's of beverages, and now it's like coffee's everywhere, and it's mass produced and sometimes low quality, and So I think something like this is really special. Now that Tanoa, the bowl, is that like part of mortar and pestle type situation, or you drink that and pass it back and forth?
So yeah, so that's what you would prepare the kava in. So normally what you do is you would, you know, put a big amount of kava in that bowl and you prepare it, and that way you would have like 10 people around that bowl, and then you actually have like a coconut shell.
Okay.
So you'd have like a coconut shell. Now this is a Hawaiian sort of style of how they would do it.
Right.
A lot of times in Fiji, you would see it where they cut it. There we go. You'd cut it like that. In Hawaii, they would cut it like this. So that way you have like a little bit of a handle there. But you would use this to scoop it up and serve it, right? So everyone would drink. Like when you talk to people about, oh, you know, I had some kava last night, they would say, oh, I had a shell of kava. That's a coconut shell's worth of kava. So they would serve it out of the tanoa.
Yeah, that's so cool. It's not sterile enough. We could never.
I know. Yeah. Never. Look at all this porous material here. You certainly couldn't use it in a restaurant. Yeah.
But
stainless steel
I think
or
that I think you could still honor the tradition, and you could do something non-porous, you know, you could do like a ceramic equivalent, you know what I mean? Like, I think there's a lot of value in paying homage too. But really like not letting the cultural significance pass us by. All right. So if I'm going to buy kava, what am I looking at? What are the options? How do we find it?
Yeah, so I sell kava on Amazon or at our website, kalmwithkava.com. We have on all of our social media, you know, Kalm with Kava or Pu'iwa Farms Hawaii. You know, that's where I would go is online. There are some health food shops around that have it, or, you know, different sort of, there are kava bars as well. I would just make sure that whenever you go to a kava bar, you just specifically say, I'd like to drink kava.
Yeah. Heard that. And then, so if somebody wants to experience this for the first time, what would you recommend? I see that there's like a medium grind, there's a micronized, like what's the beginner entry level?
So most of the time I would say people should try the traditional kava. It's like sometimes people call it medium grind. But traditional kava is it's just how it's been done for a long time, right? You mentioned earlier about how you kind of lose some of that significance. Yeah. Whenever you turn it into something that it hasn't traditionally been done, it just kind of loses some of its, I don't know. In Fijian they would call it mana, right? Like kind of
the life force. Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. And now look, I'm not like super religious. I'm not super spiritual, but I do feel like it's good to kind of keep to that a little bit. So I would say try the traditional stuff. I do sell micronized kava, which is like, it's already been filtered out for the most part. And so you can just kind of mix it into a drink. There's also instant kavas, which is very similar sort of preparation, but a little bit more expensive. We also have gummies. So like right now, oh shoot, I don't have it. I should have some on my desk here, but I don't. We've got some like gummies that are made out of kava extract. So we've got like a cherry cola gummy, and we also have a mint mojito gummy as well, like a lime mint. And so those are some fun kind of options to make it easy to get into kava, but the traditional stuff is the best.
Yeah. I think that, you know, as traditional as possible is like a really great way to approach anything if you've never had like a food or beverage, but I think the other options are really cool for accessibility too. So yeah, I think that's like, I agree. That's really great. And then everybody can, there's no barrier to entry to it. It's interesting that you said cherry cola, because when you said medicinal, I was kind of thinking of like the origins of something like Dr. Pepper. You know, there's anise, there's 23 different, you know, flavors like in it, or there were, right? So I was like, cherry cola. I see that. I see mint, you know, all those kind of like horehound, sassafras, cinnamon, anise, fennel, mint, menthol, like all those flavors that we associate with, I'm sorry, but like a cough drop or like whatever, you know what I mean? But like the old timey flavors, it seems like it would lend itself, you know, to something like that perfectly. So
yeah.
yeah.
And you're from Texas, so the Dr. Pepper thing makes a lot of sense.
It's top of mind. Although, but I've been drinking Cheerwine in North Carolina. So
classic.
it's a classic.
But
so
yeah, no, all of those flavors, you're right. They would all kind of work. But definitely.
I'm a really big fan of, heritage type foods, heirloom type foods. Like I think that I I strongly believe that it's really important for people to be connected with their food supply as close as possible. We don't all have the farmer down the road or the produce stand or whatever it is, but when we find them, we should value them and support them and make sure, right? And I think that something like this is really neat because even if it's not the culture that you grew up in, like it's still just you can kind of graft yourself into that story, and there's no hey, that's ours, you can't, right? Like it's meant to be shared, which is like really beautiful thing. So
yeah, I mean, this has to be the first time in humanity where, over the past maybe 100 years where people have been so disconnected from what they're ingesting, right?
Yeah.
And this is kind of a strange shift that I don't think that we quite understand how to grasp it yet. And and obviously, like, not everyone can, own their own land and till their own fields and plant their own wheat and harvest it and everything. But surely there must be a middle ground that's better than what we're doing right now. I don't know what that is, but
it's a bit of a blessing and a curse, right? We're more connected than ever. We have all this technology. We have access to, if you think about like just something like the number of oranges or apples that are available versus like 100 years ago. But if you go back like another 100 years, all the heirloom seeds, the lineages, right? Like it's kind of like a circle. And so it's interesting because we're more connected than ever. There's AI, there's technology, there's social media, but we, as much as we have available to us, we don't take advantage because everything's not conveniently packaged, right? Like if it doesn't fit, if it doesn't conform, and which there's nothing wrong with that, right? Like using what's convenient to you or like whatever happens to fit in your lifestyle. It's just people aren't seeking things that are kind of like outside the box, even though we have all the technology to do so. So it's kind of easy button. We just push the easy button. So, all right. So what else does the farm produce? Anything else?
Absolutely. Yeah. So we have tons of lychee, or lychee, some people call it, which are really delicious little buttons of joy. And when they're in season, they're like the best fruit. Oh my gosh,
they're really good
than a fresh lychee. And then we also have a lot of taro, or in Hawaiian they call it kalo. So we have Hawaiian varieties of kalo. Most people, they grow Chinese variants of taro because they're more consistent in size with what restaurants are used to. But we're trying to like stick with the actual like canoe crops,
right?
Yeah, chips or poi or fried taro, or like there's all sorts of things you can do with taro, right? It's like it's like a potato, but so we grow the Hawaiian varieties of kalo. There's I think at this point we have 3 or 4 different ones, and then we have 3 different types of sugarcane, which most people have no idea about sugarcane really, but each type of sugarcane has its own characteristics, its own flavors, its own like growing patterns. Are really cool. So we have we also have the Hawaiian varieties as well, and then we're also growing like ice cream beans, which are cool. They're fun. Like these really long, elongated green beans that are probably 3 feet long, and they have kind of almost like a cotton candy interior.
Yeah.
Really fun.
Yeah, I've had the opportunity to taste those. Those things are mind blowing. You're just like, what is this? It's like inside the pod. It's sweet. It's kind of like this like coconutty, pineapple-y. Like it's hard to explain. It has vanilla notes. It's just like, what is this? What is this? Yeah.
I don't know why they call it ice cream bean personally, but it is really good.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. And then,
neat.
Oh, sorry.
No,
and then we're
really neat. Yeah.
We're planning on doing like turmeric and ginger and just I don't know. I think that we just got to figure out what else to do. We also have 17 different varieties of kava on the farm, so that's really our main thing. But yeah.
And so, what came first, Arizona or Hawaii, or like where does your story begin? Like, how did you end up where you are right now?
So I've lived in Arizona since I was young.
Mm-hmm.
And so Arizona was first. Now, Kalm with Kava was first up in Montana when Mike and Tiffany owned it, but we brought it down down to Arizona in 2021, and then Hawaii started. Mike first planted his 100 plants in 2016, but he had a little 5-acre plot, and then we
Yeah.
bought some additional land and then moved everything onto that other piece of land, so we have more room to grow a lot more. And so that was 2022. So it's 4 or 5 years in the making.
Amazing. And then, what are your culinary aspirations? Like, is this the extent of your involvement with food? Do you like to experiment? Do you like to create? Like, what is it?
Well, I cook all the time. Like cooking is like my hobby. When I was a kid, I always wanted to be a chef, but I don't know, the career is that's an intense career, and
Sure.
I was not cut out for it, so I decided not to do it. But even like in the 4th grade, I wrote an essay, and the essay was to write about your hero.
Yeah.
And I wrote about 2 heroes that I had. One of them was Emeril Lagasse, and
Oh
one of them
man.
was Wolfgang Puck. So I've always been that kind of guy, but yeah.
Well, Emerald is a really great dude, and then I'll just leave the other part with they say don't meet your heroes. We could talk about it off air.
You met Wolfgang Puck?
I did. he won't remember, but I did. But I think I was 19. Emerald was a moment in time that we'll never repeat. Like that entire his first show, his first couple of shows, the cookbooks, all the catchphrases. I mean, that's just like a magical moment.
Yeah.
I remember watching with my grandmother. I remember we bought a couple of the cookbooks. His essence seasoning was way too spicy for likes of the folks like us. We were like, "What is this?" So we would make the recipes and like leave the seasoning out. But like I mean, that was just a moment in time we can't get back. I remember watching really, really young, and there was an episode where he shoved a Snickers bar into a baked roasted butternut squash and served it as a dessert, and I was just like,
Awesome.
like yeah. As for our business, it's a fickle mistress, and you have to be a little bit broken to like it. Guilty. So
you really do.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I don't know how anyone in that business has a life.
It's self-flagellation at its finest. It's just I don't. Yeah.
But it's like the thing that's so alluring about it is that all of you guys are like artists, and you're just like, you have this love for the craft of like, just like you're like, it's like you guys are constantly climbing a mountain of perfection, and you're never going to get to the top, but you're just still just searching for it. Like you're yearning for, I don't know, there's something really like romantic about it.
Yeah. It's crazy. So for me, it's been like 21 years now, and I don't really know how to do anything else, but at times I wish I did, because I'm like, oh my God, I'm just tired. The role that I have right now is more corporate and less creative. And it's funny because people go like, what do you cook when you get home? And I'm like, cereal, because I just burnt. Like I don't want to do anything. But when I do get to throw down, it's beautiful. And you're right. It's like this relentless kind of pursuit of how can I make it better? How can I use this thing? What can I do with this? And so, yeah, I 100% get it. Totally.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I wish I had that level of like, you guys have like some level of masochism that I just don't have.
Yeah, somebody asked me the other day, they're like, you watch The Bear? I'm like, yeah, I watched it like 5 times in a row and cried my eyes out because it's too real. So I'm really far from having tried for like.
Is it really real?
It's really real. I won't say that it's, it is not an accurate representation of every single workplace, but those pockets definitely do exist. And I haven't been in a position where I've been anywhere close to a Michelin star in quite some time. I just went a different direction with my career. I needed a little bit more stability. I needed a little bit more regular money. And so I went kind of the other direction. It's like the more corporate side. But I will say that drive and like the run up to earn one and kind of the competitiveness and all that stuff, like, yeah, it's 100% true. And so there's really moments in that show where I'm like, I felt this stress. This right now is making my blood pressure rise. Like, watching this scene right now is just too much. Like, it's too much. I don't need to relive this again. So it's absolutely wild. But yeah,
a little PTSD, huh?
It's just super PTSD. I hate throwing that word around, but yeah, that's 100% what it is. So,
well, I mean, you know what? Like, workplace trauma is a real thing.
It's totally real.
I just because someone got their foot blown off in war and they have PTSD does not discount that you've also had difficult times in your life.
Yeah, PTSD is a complex beast, and it's got a lot of levels and a lot of layers, and no two look alike. Nobody's experience, looks alike.
Exactly.
Well, if you don't want to answer, you don't have to. But what encouraged you to go sober? If you don't mind me asking.
Oh. You ready for this one? So
sure, I'm ready.
I've always been sober.
Okay.
So I was raised Mormon.
Intrigue.
And I know. People don't quite like know how to handle that because I don't practice it anymore. But as a young man, I was raised with this idea that, you're not supposed to put things into your body that are going to turn against you, and you don't want to, like, that you don't drink coffee, you don't drink tea, you don't smoke tobacco. I made the decision early on. I was like 10 years old. I remember thinking, if anyone offers me anything, I'm going to say no. Right. Sure. It wasn't a question of like, when someone hands me something, what am I going to say? It was just automatically like, I'm not going to do that. And so I just never did.
I respect that.
Yeah. And then as I got older, I started kind of falling away from the faith. It just, I'm grateful that I was raised in that way. I mean, not completely, but for the most part, because
I understand
it did instill in me.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't want to throw the baby away with the bathwater. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that there's a lot of good there and maybe some not so good things, but the good things are it instilled a good work ethic in me. It instilled a really good way of life and a way of like, what does fatherhood look to me? What does my family look like to me? And how do I want to make sure that I, live my life to,
I really respect that take, because I think that you could, insert belief system here and you could go, there's a lot of really good and there's a lot of people who've taken the good and turned it for bad. And I think that as foundation is really important and some sort of spiritual awareness. And so, yeah, I really dig that take. And I think that well put. So yeah, and I'm so glad that you were able to glean all the good, and for you. So yeah, man, I really respect that. I will say alcohol doesn't have a hold over me. I enjoy a drink from time to time. There was a time where I was drinking to excess and I recognized that. But I like the idea, and I don't know if this is offensive to people that are, practicing it kind of like as a rule, but like, I think the sober curious movement is really important to society, and like giving people those options and like kind of helping people understand that like, no, there is not only one size fits all approach to anything, whether it's, alcohol, it's marijuana, but nicotine, whatever it is. Right. Like, I think that it's nice to let people know like, hey, you don't have to be like everybody else, and that's okay. You know what I mean? Like, so I'm all about removing stigmas, like no matter what it is. And so I definitely see the value in living that way. And what we would call in the Bible Belt, clean living. And so I really like it. And as I get older, I go like, oh, I don't need a drink. I just want one. And I had one, you know what I mean? Like, I want one. It's because I like Jan and I like olives. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so.
Yeah. Okay. So like I should actually clarify something. I was not entirely truthful with my earlier statement.
You're not on trial. It's okay.
Well, just trying to be as transparent as possible.
Yeah.
After I decided Mormonism wasn't for me, I did try alcohol. I think beer is delicious. It's fantastic. And I think that, I didn't really get into the hard stuff very much.
Yeah.
But it was like a year of me just trying to like kind of experimenting. And to be honest with you, not in a very good mental place, because like my entire worldview came crashing down. And so I had to
it's like when you take the wheels off of a train, you know what I mean? Like,
yes.
Yeah, it's chaos.
It was like a part of, it was like the old Morgan died. And I had to like figure out
that's a great way to look
what
at
I was going to believe, but it's funny because I went back to some of my old ways. Like, I don't drink, but I also changed in a lot of other ways. But at least now I've decided for myself what I want and what I don't want. And I really cherish that, because I feel like before, everything that I thought was going through a filter that wasn't mine. And
hey, I get that. I greatly admire you for being so transparent. This is not a religion podcast. It's not a mental health podcast, right? But what it is like, I talk to people. People have stories. People have layers, right? And I think that deconstructing one's beliefs at any stage of the game, whether you've been a cradle Episcopalian, whether you found faith late, whether you, and it didn't even have to be religious beliefs. When you deconstruct a belief system that you have around anything, first of all, it takes a lot of guts. And secondly, like, it's hard. It's really hard, So
that sucks.
Yeah, it sucks a lot. So yeah. So
it's bad.
Yeah, and that I've been on both sides of that with evangelicalism. So I totally understand it. And it will shape in kind of a filter is a really good way to think about it, right? But it shapes your experiences, whether for the good or the bad. So it's a crazy thing to go through. It's absolutely wild. So I commend you for that. That's amazing. Yeah.
Well,
good for you for coming out whole on the other side. So
yeah, somewhat. I still have issues, but we're working on it.
Everybody has issues. Well, Morgan, where can we find everything on social media, and how can people keep up with you?
Yeah, so Kalm with Kava is on YouTube. It's also on TikTok. It's also on Instagram. It's Kalm with a K, and Kava is Kava. And we also have a farm on the Big Island of Hawaii called Puiva Farms Hawaii. So you can check us out on all of those things as well. I try to, on all of our social media kind of platforms, I try to talk about really the history and the culture and the science of Kava and how we have it today. And so it's a little bit maybe less of like, I try to not be super salesy. I just try to talk about Kava in general, right? Yeah. If you don't buy Kava for me, that's totally fine. But what I do want is I want people to learn about Kava and know what it is. And if for whatever reason you've decided like, I want to change something in my life, or maybe I just want to have like an interesting experience with my friends and I want to like hang out with them. Yeah. Kava might be a fun thing to do one night.
Just a new experience. I mean, that's how everything kind of starts though, right? Like, somebody all of a sudden reads an article about rosé and goes, I'm going to try that. And then all of a sudden it's like every Friday night at 7, like me and the girls get together and we try this different like pink wine or whatever. Everything starts with just a spark of a little bit of interest, right? I go through phases of what I'll call failed hobbies. But as a chef, I went through my sourdough, kimchi, fermentation, pickling, canning,
I've done it all.
Preserving, right? Like I'm one big, long, possibly ADHD trail of failed hobbies. But in the process, I always, maybe, I don't know, like dormant, unfinished, unfulfilled. I don't know.
I mean, unless you used all of your sourdough, then you didn't fail.
I killed all the sourdough and made a lot of penicillin.
You failed.
I was just late. I was late to society. I could have cured something, I think, but I didn't make good bread. But what I did do was like, I built habits. I broke habits. I built ritual into my life, right? I carved out time to learn something new. And not only did I learn something new, I learned something new about myself in the process. Yeah. I'm not good with bread dough. I have heavy man hands. I'm not for delicate. I'm not made for tedium. I don't like decorating cakes, whatever it is, right? I'm really good at chopping onions and throwing them in a pan, right? I like to serve other people. So I don't cook well for myself because I'm cereal and pizza all the time. And I put all my love and passion into other people, right? Well, what did that teach me along the way? maybe love myself more, right? Like I think there's lessons to be gleaned out of every experience, And
Yeah.
so,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
I
that's why I
can't wait
say
to
I don't
try
think
it.
that they're failed. They're
Yeah.
definitely not failed
Sure.
hobbies. You just did something. Bro, what does that even mean? Like, what are we even
Fixes.
doing on this stupid rock in the middle of
Right.
space, dude? Like,
Right.
what do you like? What you have to become the sourdough queen in order to
No,
make sure
you
that it's
don't.
not a failed hobby?
No.
No, you just had fun for a little while, and that's a good thing. You spent your time doing something productive and interesting and great. Who cares?
Yeah.
It's awesome.
And
Good for
I
you.
think
It's not failed.
right. Like I can't wait to try Kava, and I don't know that I'll be sharing it with, 8 or 9 people, but like I'm gonna like it. I'm gonna enjoy it. This podcast is gonna reach all its listeners. Everybody's gonna learn. Hopefully they'll experience it, right? Like I think, it's good.
Yeah. Who
Good.
cares? Look, it's a moment in time. This is your Emerald Lagasse moment where we just go, we're just gonna enjoy it while we got it.
And we're just gonna put that guy was putting whole cloves of garlic inside meatballs, man. Like
you gotta trust the man.
Dude, I remember being like, I think I was like 11. Like, what the fuck? Excuse me. Like, what is happening?
Did you ever try it?
Not. Oh yeah, it's delicious. It's insane. Yeah. You'll kill every vampire, but like, yeah, it's insane. He knew what he was doing, and he still does. So
yeah, man.
So, well, what are you cooking this weekend, Morgan, and what are you getting up to?
Well, this weekend I'm going up to Seattle and Vancouver, so I'm not going to be cooking anything, but I am going to be eating a lot. I heard that, I can't remember if it was Seattle or Vancouver, one of the two has more Asians in the city than any other city in the Americas. I just went to Japan like every other person.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. It probably is Vancouver. It's a giant city. But I went to Japan back in March with my family, like every other person apparently in America went to Japan this year. But I'm excited to go try some, now that I've learned a lot more about it. Maybe Vancouver has a big Japanese scene. I don't know, but that's kind of what I'm going to be hunting for.
At least that I'm aware of. I think there's like 3 really famous hand-pulled noodle spots, like family-owned, like hand-pulled noodles. So yeah, Canada is like, has a huge diverse food scene, and it's massive. So that's amazing. Do you take Kava with you when you travel?
All the time.
Yeah.
Everywhere. Yeah. Now I will say, actually, I mean, I do, but I also don't.
But
you know what I realized? Here's the deal. I bring Kava with me, but I found that when I'm on vacation or when I'm just out and about, like, and I'm not really thinking about it, I don't really drink Kava. I normally drink Kava when I'm kind of like in the routine, kind of rote, like, my day sucked today. Like, I'm going to drink some Kava tonight. Yeah. So maybe it's just because sometimes I want to drink Kava and sometimes I don't, but I don't really think about it. But I do bring it with me everywhere.
But it's portable, right?
Yeah. Just a little bag.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah. Well, I can't wait. I want it to be my next beverage of choice. And the more you're telling me about the flavor notes, I'm like, we got to marinate some duck with this, or I don't know. There's possibilities. Like I'm thinking, like the brain's churning. So
I can't wait for you to try it, and you can decide what you really want to do with it.
Yeah, I'm so excited. Well, let's see. 4th of July, Independence Day weekend. I had hot dogs yesterday. I don't know if I can repeat. So I'll just be at work this weekend. So I don't know, no new culinary adventures on the horizon, but I'm sure I'll get off into something. So, Well, Morgan, I've had a blast talking. Stick around after I stop recording. We'll chat for just a few more minutes, but for the Food for Thoughtcast and Morgan, I'm Melissa. Thank you for joining us.